Good morning and welcome to Cover 2 Cook. We're on episode 164. And today we are going to give the takeaways from college football Saturday and NFL Sunday. We're also going to talk a bit about our fantasy teams as I'm on a 5-game losing streak. Am I going to go for number 6? And then we're going to finish with Tim's best bets. We'll hear the results of his 4 best bets over the weekend. So let's get it started.
Yeah. I was going to do a vertical jump there. Thank you, Socks.
Travel been to Indiana, and did Cover 2 Cook get you a good hotel?
Indiana? No, I'm in Louisiana. I'm here for Mardi Gras.
I know that this might be hard, but I don't know how much you remember Friday night since we left you damn near when you fell asleep.
I got my belly full, man. I was like, I warm covers and warm. I was like, I could go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jack Dorsey.
Final answer?
Yes. All right.
This is going to be a long fucking day.
Welcome back to Cover 2 Cook. We're on episode 164. I'm here with Anthony, Tim, and we had a decent Saturday. It wasn't great, but it was an okay day. Tim, what was your first takeaway from Saturday?
The Missouri-Oklahoma game for Missouri, you could tell that Probilla, I don't know how I say his name, is not 100%. You know, he's just not. I mean, you could tell he had rust. He couldn't get no rhythm. His feet was dancing around. They couldn't get the run game. They pretty much Oklahoma shut that run defense down. I mean, that Hardy, I think, only had 57 yards rushing. And then he throws 2 bad interceptions. You can't do that on the road. Their defense did very well in the second half, especially. They pretty much shut them down in the second half, but their offense just could get nothing going. The run couldn't. He could throw the ball down the field. Apart from that explosive play, I mean, they pretty much shut down Oklahoma. So it was a game that they had to win, and they should have won. I think for this game also for Oklahoma, they still have a lot of penalties. That defense is going to keep them in a lot of games this year. It is going to. Materis is just so erratic. He's all over the place half the time. Their defense of Missouri kept them down pretty good. I mean, that second half, it was just kind of, is somebody going to score or what? I mean, it wasn't, and that's, now Oklahoma's 1 game a win, one away, 1 game. All they got to do is win against LSU, and they're in the playoffs. I would not want to play them come playoff time. That defense is scary, very scary.
Well, Anthony, you kind of had it out for Oklahoma at the beginning of the year. Like, didn't you think they would be successful? How do you think they played on Saturday?
Yeah, so they always say defenses win you championships. That's a great defense. I still just think that offense is what's going to hold them back to winning a championship. For Mizzou, this was a Mizzou game, right? Should have won it. They had chances to win it. They just can't win it. That coach is supposed to be a hot candidate for a lot of these open positions.
Wow.
Hard to believe because I blame that a lot on the coaching. I will say, though, if they get a home game for the playoffs, they're a scary team to face at home. Otherwise, Oklahoma did what they needed to do to win. That's all that they need to do going forward. So we'll see. I think it's a good team, but at the same time, like, that offense has to be better.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when we're coming so close to playoffs, it's time to step it up.
Yeah.
Anthony, what was your first takeaway from Saturday?
Yeah, it was USC versus Oregon. We said whoever wins is in the college playoffs. This would just solidify more for Oregon. College Game Day was there, hyping up all the Oregon fans. My question, though, is the Duck the best mascot in college football? And what I mean by that is not the animals, because we all love the animals, but like out of the actual mascots, I think the Duck is. He's always fun, always has the signs. But Oregon was able to pass the ball. They were able to run the ball. They were able to do kind of really whatever they wanted to do. Penalties are the only reason they got put back in a lot of spots. Moore threw for 257 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Noah Whittington had 104 yards with a touchdown as well, running back. If they get a home game for the playoffs, they're a tough fight. I mean, just going to Oregon to play them, I think it's going to be a tough game. Now on the USC side. Now, 1 second. I've always been I said I don't believe in Oregon, things like that. I think when they play at home, they're scary. On the road, I still don't believe in them. USC, though, defense couldn't stop a cold. They just couldn't stop anything. They're not physical enough. Turnovers were a killer for them. The 2 interceptions were just, they were wrong times, positions like that. 52 yards of rushing in this game. You're not going to win games like that, USC. You've got to be able to run the ball. And then USC will be out of playoff talk, but don't be surprised you're done hearing about USC, as I believe Lincoln Riley is going to be one of these coaches that takes one of these openings, because it's obvious that there's something missing at USC for him to be successful. I think he leaves USC. So don't be surprised if you hear more about USC, just not about them in the playoff talk.
Interesting. Okay, that's a hot take. I will say, when we're talking about the mascot, though, he is a really funny, he's got that comic relief. But I've also been seeing like all these mascots, college and pro mascots, playing football against Pee Wee, and those are hilarious.
Yeah.
Tim, what did you think about the USC Oregon game?
Yeah, I mean, this is a game USC could have won. I really do believe that Maeva just didn't have his best. I mean, actually, the Oregon defense kind of stepped up a little bit, got pressure on Maeva quite a bit. But we were talking back and forth when they went down and scored that touchdown. And I think they were up by 7. Then they were moving the ball again, and it's just like they couldn't stop him. They got to do more. Moore got to do whatever he wanted down the field, and it was they just look so much faster at home than they do anywhere else. Yeah, and I agree. I think they're going to be a tough out. If they get a home game, that'll be a tough out.
Yeah, no, for sure. It'll be a tough decision for them. But let's move on to your nice takeaway, Tim. What was the second takeaway?
BYU and Cincinnati. For BYU, I think that LJ Harvey is for real. He could be playing on Sundays. 222 yards, 119 yards of it after contact, 2 touchdowns, and a must-win game. It's a good thing that because Brockmeyer did not have a good game. The freshman, the offensive line played good. I think that offensive line for BYU is going to be there's some studs on that line that could be probably playing on Sundays. On the defense side, they played their best They played their best all season. I think they give that Sorsby a lot of havoc. Outside of a couple of plays Cincinnati didn't have anything. They had 8 pressures and 18 pass snaps. For Cincinnati, their defense couldn't stop that LJ Harvey, as you can tell, 222 yards. And the offense left too many points on the board. Beginning there was a one drive where they were going down the field, and it was 4th down, and they couldn't punch it in, give the ball back on downs. That was a 10-play drive. They had the ball at the 3 missed field goals. They just kept shooting themselves in the foot all night. This was a game at home, a little later in the night. Could have had it, and you didn't. And you could have put BYU away and not playing in the Big 12, and you didn't do it.
Yeah,
kudos for BYU, because now they're probably playing the Big 12 championship right now.
Yeah,
and that would be BYU and Texas Tech. I like that.
No, it definitely seemed like Cincinnati fell flat in that game. They definitely had the chances to make it a close game, but they didn't pull through with it. Anthony, what did you think?
Yeah, you definitely read my mind there, or you heard me talk about it last night. I think Cincy just came out flat. Like they had so many opportunities to make plays, things like that. But this BYU team reminds me of a team behind me of last year. They are going to ride or die running the ball. But if you get up on them and they got to pass the ball, that's when they struggle. You can tell with that quarterback, with the freshman, he just struggles when he gets into his drops and things like that. But if they can run the ball, scary, because they will take a lot of the clock away and score points with it as well. I will say you're excited about Texas Tech and BYU. I think it's going to happen just again like the way that it did a couple weeks ago. I think Texas Tech just spanks them, because if Texas Tech can get up on BYU, then you got to start passing the ball. You can't just run the ball. And that's when it's one of those things where, when they get behind the sticks, that quarterback has to step up more, and I just don't think he's ready yet. He will be, but not yet.
Okay.
He's got to change his number. I just don't like it as a quarterback. He's got to change his number.
Right.
The story, that's cute,
7?
but come on. What's up?
87? Is that
47? 47, I think.
Okay, yeah, no, a higher number for sure. But a couple weeks ago, they gave a background story as to why he picked it. So he's got sentimental value to it. So
just looks weird.
It's not just random. Okay, Anthony, take me to your second must-watch from Saturday.
Yeah, Pitt versus Georgia Tech. So this podcast, and a lot from me, have given a lot of grief to Pat Narduzzi about his comments a couple weeks ago, or last week, about Notre Dame. But he might be right. All Georgia Tech had to do was win, and they were guaranteed into the ACC championship. Well, don't worry. Pitt comes out and scores 21 points in the first quarter, but more importantly, they just showed their physicality. They came, they said they were ready to play, they want to dominate this game. Georgia Tech looked asleep for this first quarter, and you're down 21-0. Pitt would allow Georgia Tech to come back in this game, but then Pitt would score again to win 42-28. Georgia Tech couldn't stop the run as Pitt had 186 yards rushing. Everyone talked about that going into the game. If Pitt could run the ball, they're going to win. 3 for 14 on third down. Have to be better than that. You have to be able to execute on third down. Didn't look like they were ready to play, but guess what? That's probably just the ACC for you right there. Pitt, on the other side, no turnovers versus Georgia Tech. After coming off of a week with Notre Dame where they had all these turnovers and pick sixes and things like that. I don't like how they allowed Georgia Tech to kind of get back into it in the fourth quarter with 14 points. Put them away. Put your foot on their throat, end that game for you. And then finally, one more win. Now you got Miami. Can you beat Miami? And I believe it's at Pitt. If you can beat Miami, you're in the ACC, and I think you deserve it. As a Notre Dame fan that beat you and I put a belt to your butt, win next week so I don't have to hear about Miami anymore going forward. But big win for Pitt. This just felt like that whole game, they just dominated. Even though the score got a little close, Pitt just seemed like they were one step ahead of Georgia Tech all game.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I definitely was nervous how Pitt was going to go into that with how sloppy they looked for Notre Dame, for them to clean that up and have no turnovers. Like that's something to say.
Yeah.
Tim, what did you feel about this game?
Yeah, I don't think Brent Key had, and I was talking him up. Oh, he'll have this team ready to go. No, you didn't, buddy. You didn't have them ready to go. You get down 21-0, you're not ready to play yet. You wasn't ready to play. You can't get down like that to a good. That Pittsburgh team is still a good team. The coach may make some, but that Sills team is good. Just Notre Dame was better that week. Anyway, but yeah, they just took it right to him. Haynes King, what did you say the last podcast, Anthony? He's up and down.
Yeah.
Well, he's up and down. He's just not consistent enough. Mm-hmm. And I was really shocked that coach did, because that coach is he gets really excited when he wins. And I was shocked that they did. And for Pittsburgh, hey, good for you. Beat Miami. Like you said, beat Miami. And you deserve to be in the ACC championship.
Yep.
Yeah. Nope. I'm definitely excited to see the matchup for this next week. I'm sure it'll be a must watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about the team we want to talk about. Anthony, take me through this Notre Dame game yesterday.
Yeah, so I just got to start off with this, boys. Look at that. I got the belt for you all right there. So, SEC can schedule cupcake games this week. Well, so did Notre Dame. They scheduled Syracuse, who's in the ACC. Speaking of the ACC, they decide recently now that they're just going to tweet, and I get it, they're in the favor of their teams in their conference. And they're showing shade towards Notre Dame and why they don't be in there. Remember, if Notre Dame was going to join a conference, it's the ACC because of that COVID year, okay? Because of the contract and stuff. We would be in the ACC championship if we were in your conference this year. We would have one conference loss because we pretty much played your schedule this year, and we whomped them. Miami beat Syracuse 38-10. Well, Notre Dame beat them 70-7. 21 straight points before the offense even steps on the field. 2 pick sixes and 1 blocked punt for a touchdown. Love. Done. He's the Heisman. If you give it to a quarterback, I know it's a quarterback thing. Love is the Heisman. Love had 8 carries. So that means 8 times where the quarterback handed him the ball. And had 171 yards with 3 touchdowns. Now, if you're not great at math, real quick, that's 21 yards, 21.4 yards per carry. So when he got the ball, he was on average going to get 2 first downs. 2 first downs worth of yards right there, okay? Notre Dame would go on to run for 329 yards in this game for an average of 13.7 per rush. So any time that they handed it off to a running back, no matter when they were up 50 or when they were starting the game, they averaged 13.7 yards per carry. That's crazy. That's a first down every time we ran the ball. It was a great day to be a Notre Dame fan. It's an ass beating. It was awesome. One thing, though, I have to talk about this is the defense has been playing very well, right? Awesome. Pick sixes and everything's going great. But we haven't gone against good offenses recently. So, You have to keep the fundamentals. I love when a safety comes up and picks off a pass, but if that's a hit or a hitch and go, then you're burnt. And that's what we're going to face in the playoffs. We're going to be playing against teams that can play good offense. So defense, I love everything you're doing, but make sure you're still fundamentally sound, because when we do go against some of these teams, you're not going to be able to play against 124th ranked offense or whatever. So we just have to be ready. But great game for Notre Dame. ACC, watch your shit. I don't understand why you're attacking Notre Dame, because it's crazy in my mind, because you want Notre Dame in your conference. You would get on your hands and knees for Notre Dame to be in the conference. So just respect them a little bit. Don't go after them. But big win for Notre Dame. I think they'll still stay in the rankings around where they're at right now, because there is nowhere to go higher as long as Miami's still in the conversation. But 70-7. I mean, I think they broke so many records.
Talk about like just trucking through some team. It's just like, I don't care what you're throwing at me. I'm going to get past you. I'm reading you like a book. Like, that was like total domination. It was so awesome to watch. Tim, how did you feel watching this game?
Well, I went to this local bar about 5 miles away, and I asked them to put the game on. They did. And then I asked them to turn the game off after it was 35-0. They go, why would you want to do that? Don't you want to watch the rest of the game? I said, if this team gives up, if they lose after being up 35-0, I don't want to hear any more talk about playoffs, because they don't deserve it. And then when I seen the final score, I went, wow. I mean, you scored 21 points in less than 5 minutes, a little over 5 minutes, and your offense ain't even been on the field yet? Whoa, that's not a good team. And they ended up taking the quarterback out from Syracuse and bringing another one in after it got down 21-0. I think that coach went, oh, yeah, you're not doing anything for us today. Go sit down. Come stand next to me. Yeah, that was just Love had a great day. I mean, them numbers that you were naming off, Anthony, that's Madden numbers.
Yeah.
That's just crazy to have that. And I think they said that's the most points that Notre Dame has scored since 1932, 70 points. I don't think since I've been a fan of them, that they've scored that much. Yeah, that was just a shellacking. I thought Syracuse would give them a little bit more of a game. I think the spread was 35. Well, you covered that halfway through the second quarter. So,
yeah. Well, and last thing I'll say too is they did score 7 points, but it was with 7 seconds remaining when they scored the 7 points. No timeouts were called, not Parduzzi's softness. It was with them actually scoring a touchdown. But like, I wish we would have won 70-0, because Alabama played Eastern Illinois and won 49-0 or 56-0 or something. We played an ACC team and won 70-7. Oh, and then just to remind all the people out there again, because the eye test comes involved in the college playoffs, Miami played the same team the week before and won 38-10, 28 points. We were up 21-0 before our offense even got on the field. And that's why Notre Dame is ranked higher than Miami, because they are a better team, straight up and down. So, that was a BTA though.
Yeah, no, thank you for those final points, because I was going to ask how Miami did against this team, so that is perfect. Yes, hopefully that solidifies any conversation. We're going to go viral from that right there. Yeah. All right, well, let's transition into NFL. Let's talk about our fantasies. Like Anthony said before, he's on a 5-game losing streak. Hopefully it's not 6. How's it going?
Yeah, so I'm down 30 points. I have a couple players going Monday night, but the person I'm playing is projected 160. I'm projected 130. Went against Jahmyr Gibbs this week. So Jahmyr Gibbs goes for 55 points. Yet alone, did he already have a lot of points? They go into overtime, where then he goes for like 100-yard touchdown pass. It's absolutely crazy. So what I have to do now is go look in a mirror and ask the fantasy gods, what did I do? Yeah. What did I do that you're just punishing me this hard? On the positive, the 2 other people that are in last place with me with the same record, looks like they're going to lose this week as well. So I'm still going to stay ahead of them, just because I did say that I would do a punishment. The biggest loser or whatever is we do a little bracket at the end. So it still determines on like the games. It's not how the regular season ends. But my team name going into this week is what I do, fantasy gods. What I do? Because this is crazy. I have faced the best fantasy person for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And we're not just talking like 20 points, 30. We're talking about 50 damn points in a PPR league. Like, that's half of what half these people get. Jahmyr Gibbs, that sucked. That was awful watching that game.
And
I'm going to be 6. It's going to be 6, most likely.
And you were so excited because this morning you had Wandell, right?
Oh, yeah.
You were like, finally.
And James Cook had a good Thursday night. Oh, everything's going right. And then you just get punched in the stomach with Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh, maybe next week.
Yeah. Sound like a Cubs fan now.
Dude.
Tim, is it looking better for you this week?
No, it's not. I'm down 35, and he still has the Rams defense. His was just he didn't have Jahmyr Gibbs, but he had Amari St. Brown, JSN.
Yep.
I mean, they both combined for probably 60 there. His quarterback did really well. My quarterback was projected to be 30. I think he only had 17. That's Drake May. There's some of the players I took out this morning. They did all right, but that wouldn't have made a difference. At one point, I was down by 60.
Yeah.
He had doubled the score of what I had. And I luckily in the 3:00 games, I turned it around. Now I'm probably going to lose probably about 40. So that makes me 6-6, and I'm in trouble with making the playoffs right now. I've almost pretty much got to win out these next 2 weeks. I don't know. I mean, like I said, my team is just not. I'm getting caught now. Where I was winning the early games barely. Now it's just like you said, you're playing because that's what 3 weeks in a row for you, Anthony, that you've had. Yep. You had Jonathan Taylor last week. This guy, Jahmyr Gibbs, and then there was somebody else. Was it Josh Allen?
Yeah, it was Jonathan Taylor 2 weeks ago, Josh Allen last week, and then Jahmyr Gibbs. The highest people in fantasy each week. That's
crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, so I mean that he's got a consistent lineup, and he's like behind me as well. So that's 2 weeks in a row. People that are so I think I was winning by smoke and mirrors is what I really was winning.
Yeah.
Because I was barely winning, and now it's coming back to bite me in the ass. Yeah. And I don't know if I make the playoffs, I'll probably be one and done.
Yeah.
Sounds like you should change your team name to What I Do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's comeback. It's Karma. I should put the name Karma.
Or you could be the 12th seed, like the 12th seed in college, because you're going to get in, but you're going to get spanked.
Yeah, right.
All right, well, let's talk about these action-packed NFL games. Tim, I think you're going to talk about the Thursday night game, so why don't you take us into that?
Buffalo and Houston. For Buffalo, too many turnovers on offense. 3 takeaways from the team that, I mean, they hardly turned the ball over last year. Now this year they're just – and Josh Allen, what are you doing, man? I know that defense is good, but he's inconsistent this year. 1 week he plays really well, the next week he doesn't. He plays well, he doesn't. It's just they've already had 4th hang on. Allen had 2 interceptions and a fumble, and they were actually still in this game at the end. They already had the 4th and 27 conversion, but they still couldn't get the job done. And now they're 3 games back with the Patriots because the Patriots won today.
Yeah.
You might as well, you're a wild card now, buddy. That team's a wild card. You'll be playing on the road. Yeah. For Houston, offense, Woody Marks, I think they've got it. They found their running back. He had an awesome game, or not a bad game. But the biggest deal is their defense is really good. Yep. Will Anderson had 2.5 sacks. The other guy, Hunter, ex-Viking, he had 2 sacks. But they really, on offense, got to get C.J. Stroud back.
Yeah,
because he can. They are just they're just going through the motions. If they could get him back and get him healthy, this could be a dangerous team come playoff time. Even in that division, the only bad deal is Indianapolis is going to probably win the division, even after this loss today. But they would be a dangerous out if they make the playoffs. If they get C.J. Stroud back, they'll be a dangerous out.
Okay. Anthony, what's your take on that game?
Yeah, so I definitely agree with Buffalo. That team's just so inconsistent. And honestly, it felt like they just were like waiting to win instead of actually going and taking the win. On the other side, I actually got some respect at work because I kept telling people all week, Houston's defense, you got to watch out for them. They're good. If CJ Stroud was playing, they'd be talked about more, blah, blah, blah. And then literally on Friday, people were like, yo, that Texans defense got after Josh Allen. I definitely agree. I also think when I look at Texans, I look at Oklahoma, where that defense is going to win you games, but that offense, if it could just take a step forward, and even if C.J. Stroud's in there, they were losing games with C.J. Stroud, and that defense was still good. They just have to be more consistent on the offense, running the ball, getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands. They did that enough against this Buffalo defense to win this game. Yeah, this was a good Thursday night game. I thought this was an exciting, went down to the end for Amazon Prime. They probably pretty happy with getting that game for a Thursday night.
Yeah, no, I would agree. We watched it all the way through. It was a good game, and I was watching, the coach a little bit more than the game, but it was still a good game.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony, take me to your first takeaway from NFL Sunday.
Yes, so Bears and Steelers. So Aaron Rodgers coming back to Chicago. Not playing, though. Mason Rudolph got the start, but this game's about the other quarterback on the other team, Caleb Williams. 239 yards and 3 touchdowns. Great performance from Caleb Williams. This offense looked really efficient. Now, I understand there was a play where the Steelers defense scored a touchdown. They just bounced back. That team under Eberflus would have quit right then and there. But this team just bounced back. This is all a compliment to Ben Johnson. But the defense, it looked good at times for the Bears. They looked good. And then times where it's just, what are you doing? Running into each other, allowing this game to get close at the end. The other thing, too, when I say the offense looked good, it might be because DJ Moore got utilized in this game. They need to utilize him more, and Loveland looks like a constant target for Caleb Williams going forward. This team is scary. They keep winning games, and they're finding ways to just keep winning. That's all you got to do in the NFL. I don't know if they're a good Super Bowl contender, but I thought the Eagles were too, and they lost today. So on the other side for the Steelers, felt like this is a game they should have pulled off. It just felt like there was going to be a play where it was going to, okay, here we go. They just didn't all game. Kenneth Gainwell, it's been a nice pickup for them. Just a little different light outside of Jaylen Warren. He had a touchdown today. And then finally, Steelers, you better wake up because now the Ravens are tied with you for the division lead, and the Ravens don't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. So you better hope Aaron Rodgers gets back very soon because you guys are fighting for your life to even make the playoffs because you got to win the division to get in the playoffs in the AFC this year.
Yeah, no, it definitely seems like the Bears are a sneaky team. Like they're getting these wins in, and they're becoming, relevant in conversations where, teams are going to have to look out for them. They better start, watching them pretty closely. But I did want to ask you a question. Didn't TJ Watt have a really good game, or did he break some type of record today?
Well, he has the most sacks in the Watt family now.
Okay.
So he broke JJ's. So it's not an NFL record per se, because Myles Garrett did that today. No, literally TJ, and he caused the fumble that led to the touchdown and things like that. He had a great game. He is such a good player. Such a good player. It just sucks that he plays in the same time frame that Myles Garrett does, because Myles Garrett is just crazy good.
Yeah, definitely. I hear you there. No, but that's a competition in the inner family that he's going to be.
Oh yeah.
Happy.
Right before Thanksgiving. Oh yeah. I'll take that extra scoop of mashed potatoes, JJ. Yeah.
The last roll. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, JJ was doing the game.
Yes, which I didn't.
He was doing. Him and Iron Eagle was doing the game.
Yeah, I didn't know how I felt about it, but he did good of keeping both partisans of.
He did.
What did you think about this game, Tim?
Yeah, I really thought that the Bears were going to just shit this game away when he fumbled in the end zone. I'm like, there's the Caleb Williams we all know and love. You can't do that. You got lucky today, but on a consistent basis, you can't do that, buddy. You've got to get rid of the ball. I'm sorry. You've got to get rid of it. You can't just flop it up in the air, and that's not good. But they did. They didn't fold, and they got a lead, and they let Pittsburgh go right down the field again to try to tie it up. And Brisker made it. I tell you what, that Brisker jump to deflect that ball. Good God, he had to be 3 feet off the air. Yeah. I mean, he had a hell of a jump at it. But yeah, and you knew when they said that Rudolph was going to start, the Bears should win this one. Yeah. I mean, I think if it would have been Rodgers, a healthy Rodgers, might have been a different ball game. But yeah, that Kenneth Gainwell, which I wish I would have picked him up in fantasy, but I don't think it would have made a difference. But but yeah, so I mean, it was good. It was a good win, and I will make a prediction: the Bears will win the NFC North.
Yeah, I have that too. I actually have, and I'll go bolder. I think they're in the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
I think they're in the NFC Championship.
I think it's too soon.
So, and
Well,
honestly,
we'll see.
we'll find a lot on Friday.
Yeah. Against an Eagles team that just got beat by Dallas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly what I'm saying. They're a sneaky team. You got to be careful
Yeah.
for sure. All right, Tim, why don't you take me into your next must-watch takeaway?
Giants and Lions. For the Giants, another wasted double-digit lead. How many of these? This is a team that's not prepared. When they get up, they just shit it away. They're not. I don't know what's going on. It's not the coach now. Can't be the coach.
Yep.
You got rid of him. It's just this team is not ready to take big leads and keep them. Winston did, his job. The flea flickers.
Yeah.
And that's why they had to lead, because you did a couple of flea flickers. He finished 9 of 14 in the first half, 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. In the second half, it didn't seem hardly at all. On defense, they shut down the Lions' offense, but in the second half, they had no answer for Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yep.
Jahmyr Gibbs, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns. But Goff, if this team wants to go any farther, it's got to be with Goff as well. He missed a lot of open receivers. He's getting happy feet in the pocket. You can't have that. Too many mistakes. He gets pressure on him. And then Gibbs bailed him out, 219 yards, like I said. On defense, they got a boost by getting their DBs back or their cornerbacks back. But shit, they just unloaded. I mean, Winston got to do whatever he wanted in the first half. They've got to get this straightened out, or there may be a one and done if they make the playoffs. Because you got Green Bay still there too. I don't know if there's 3 teams out of that division make the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no,
I think 3 teams out of the NFC West, but not the NFC North.
Well, you can't. If you're going to get 3 out of the NFC West, you're not going to get
Right.
3 out of the North.
Right.
I definitely enjoyed watching all those trick plays, but I thought for sure that the Lions would have been more prepared for that because they're typically the team that does those fun plays. So I
Yeah,
was kind of surprised that, they got away with it as much as they did.
Yeah.
Anthony, what do you think?
Yeah, the Giants had to unload the bag just to stay in this game, and they did. Jameis Winston, though, what are you doing, man? Like, he's good. He looked good today with some of his balls. I mean, that catch where he slid past the defender and then stiff-armed into the end zone, that was awesome. It was so fun to watch Jameis. At the same time, I would never want to be a fan and have him as my quarterback because it's such a roller coaster. But as a fan that's watching from the outside, he is always fun to watch, whether he's celebrating or whatever he's doing. On the other side of the Lions, they just don't feel complete this year. And I think it's a lot of that coaching changeover. We talked about it in the preseason, things like that. You can tell that they miss Ben Johnson because the offense just doesn't feel smooth like it was. Where even David Montgomery came in some plays and then Jahmyr Gibbs, it doesn't feel like it was that combo that we used to have from out of the Lions. I don't know if they make the playoffs because I think that tie for the Green Bay Packers is going to come back to bite the Lions in the butt because it's going to give them a chance to say one up on them. I think they play on Thanksgiving, right? Or no? Yeah, I think they play on Thanksgiving. Detroit and Lions. Maybe not, but or Detroit and Green Bay, but
Right.
But if they do, I think that's a good game. But yeah, I think Lions, they just got to get smoother before they can be a contender per se.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. And you make a valid point that Ben Johnson was the one doing the trick plays with them before. So,
Yeah.
different team. Okay, Anthony, take me into your second takeaway from this Sunday.
Yeah, so we're staying at that noontime, the Colts versus the Chiefs. This felt like a playoff game. It just felt like it because even the allotted time wasn't enough. We had to go into overtime for this. Colts were up 20-9 in the fourth quarter. Chiefs would go to score 11 points in the fourth quarter to take it into overtime where they would kick a field goal in overtime to win this game. Huge loss for the Colts. Chiefs, the fourth quarter in overtime looked like the old Chiefs. The Chiefs we've been asking for all year. They actually looked good in the fourth quarter in the overtime. But where's it at 1 through 3? Like, we need that team. You are desperate now. You need to win games. You can't wait till the fourth quarter to do that. Hunt was able to run for 104 yards and a touchdown. Again, I keep saying they got to run the ball. They actually were able to run the ball today. That'll keep going as forward, is depending on whether they win or not, is how they can run the ball. Finally, for the Chiefs, Harrison Buckner. Just automatic these days. Kicks 5 field goals today to give them the win in overtime. It's always good when you have a kicker like that because you can just count on him when it comes down to the end. Kind of like Brandon Aubrey for the Cowboys. On the Colts side, not sure why they went away from Jonathan Taylor in the game. Like, it seemed like in the second half it was all Daniel Jones, which Daniel Jones only had 83 yards in the second half. That won't win you games. Because you're up 20-9, you can't rely on that defense to still keep this offense down. Shouldn't have lost this game, but I do think this is the moment for them to understand. You can either learn from this game and get better so that this doesn't happen going forward, or you will always be deemed as a poser no matter what your record is, because these are the games you have to win to show dominance that, hey, we are a contender for the Super Bowl. And losing when you were up 20-9 in the fourth quarter, now it kind of, that record just doesn't mean as much now for them.
I couldn't agree with you more with your closing statement there because, I mean, I'll be completely honest. I napped throughout this game. It was a very, very busy morning. I had a lot of outdoor fresh air, so it just knocked me right out.
Yeah.
But from the recap that I was watching, I would totally agree that, you know, with their season so far, they've been winning games. They've been in the talk. They've been in the power rankings. But when you're going to come up against a Kansas City team who just lost last week, you needed to either take advantage of that, but unfortunately they fell short. Tim, how did you feel about this game?
Yeah, this is a must-win for the Colts. You had to win this. You're up 29 on the road. Now, since you lost today, you're probably maybe going to get one home game, but you're going to have to go on the road now. You know, this is going to be tough. Now you have 3 losses. You know, the other 2 teams, New England and Denver, only have 2. So you're going to have to win your division, or at least get one home game. And if you're going to do that on the road in the playoffs, you'll lose. I mean, you'll lose every time.
Yep.
So you've got to put Mahomes away. And they just kind of like they just were coasting, and it's you can't do that. I'm sorry. And when when he's up against the wall, his team plays.
Yeah.
Andy Reid will have that team playing. So it's a good win for the Chiefs. Keeps their drive alive for a playoff. And I think they'll still be a dangerous out come playoff time.
Yep.
Well, I'm kind of surprised you guys aren't talking about this Dallas Cowboys comeback. Like, what in the world? That game got crazy on me. Anthony, give us a little recap of that.
Real quick, Eagles offense just idled and could not get going again. While the Cowboys made play after play, whether it was the fumble of Saquon, the fumble of the punt, but they weren't scoring points off of it. So I was like, they're going to lose this game. Brandon Aubrey kicks a field goal with no time left. Good win for the Cowboys. I told you that stat about how Dak Prescott doesn't lose at home against divisions, and that was right then and there. One other one I want to give up real quick, too. Minnesota Vikings today lose to the Green Bay Packers, so it means we get free stuff. J.J. McCarthy had an 18% QBR. 158, I think, is the maximum you can get. He got an 18. 18. Absolutely. Hey, I hope you love it. I hope you love your decisions, Minnesota, because this is what you did. And you know what, Kevin O'Connell? You're now a little bit more questionable than what you were, because you were the coach of the year. And oh my gosh, Vikings, awful watching anymore. Don't put them on national television. Just take them off.
Well, Tim, give me your 2 points about the Dallas Cowboys-Eagles game.
I think that's a great win for Dallas. When they were down 21-0, I went, oh, Philadelphia's going to run away from this. Even Hurts, I think he almost had 300 yards passing today. That's what we've been all asking for. Get the ball to Brown. He was getting the ball to Brown and Devontae Smith. But their pass or their run, they just can't run the ball. Yeah. I mean, Barkley just can't. And then fumbles are just killers. He that one guy fumbles, then they get the ball back, and then they fumble it. It's just like, no, it doesn't seem like anybody wanted to win this game.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, too, on Anthony, on the Vikings. They've got a lot of – the commentator said today they spent the most or the second most money in the offseason for free agents. And this is the product you're going to give to these fans. Ouch.
Everything looks good except for quarterback, though. Defense looks good. Everything else looks good, but quarterback sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, Tim, well, why don't you take us in? Let's see how lucky we got. Were we 4-0 with Tim's best bets?
It should have been 4-0, except for UTEP blows a 21-point lead and loses 34-31. Other than that, it would have been a perfect day. But Missouri covered with the 7.5. Colts and Chiefs, you were kind of skeptical about that Colts one.
Yeah.
And if I thought they were going to score the touchdown instead of kicking the field goal to tie the game. And I'm thinking, oh, you son of a bitch,
Yep.
because that'd been 4, and I was getting 3.5. I was like, if they score right, and they were down there, and the Jacksonville one, Jacksonville tried to give the game back to them 2 or 3 times. Go for it on 4th down. You could have kicked a field goal.
Yep.
You wouldn't have had to go to overtime. No, you go for it on 4th down. See, that's people that bet on them kind of games. That's when the controller goes through the TV.
Yep. Well, and when
3-1, 3-1.
and when you have a kicker, Cam Little, that can kick it from 68 yards.
Yeah.
Come on now. Like,
Yeah.
a little ridiculous. Well, that is episode 164, where we recapped our Saturday takeaways and our Sunday takeaways from the NFL and college football. And then Mr. Tim Cook went 3-1 this weekend. Pretty solid weekend. Should have been 4-0. We'll see what he brings up this week. We'll be back on Wednesday, and then we'll do a Thanksgiving episode as well. If you like what we do, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all those as well. Have a great start to your week. Enjoy your half days and days off, because everyone does that coming up to the holidays. Have a good week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.